Hey everyone, welcome back with Bean O Mac, where today we will look at some more facials. Okay, so maybe that joke doesn't work as well a second time, but what we will do is compare the faces from the WWF AKI games No Mercy and Wrestlemania 2000 and decide which one is better. It's that simple, so this week will be mostly corporation members, or at least those who worked with Vince to take down one of his rivals. So far, the score is 8 for No Mercy and 4 for Wrestlemania 2000. Let's go. Who better to start with than the corporate champion turned people's champion, The Rock. Now in No Mercy, The Rock just looks pissed. I think they were trying to go for determined, but just ends up looking very miserable, like he pooped in his diaper.
Shut up, bitch!
However, in Wrestlemania, iconic people's eyebrow, and they nailed it perfectly in this game. That is unmistakably The Rock. So for that alone, I have to go with Mania. However, in No Mercy, The Rock has a beta face that can be accessed with a Game Shark, and in it is the classic, iconic eyebrow just like in Mania. However, something looks very off about this. Looks more like the face that Chris Redfield makes on the original Resident Evil cover art, where on one side he looks determined and ready to fight, but on the other his face looks like he is in utter terror. So you can see why they ended up changing his face into the final design. Sorry No Mercy jabronis, but Mania still wins out on this one. Up next is the former chairman of the WWF, Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
I've got balls the size of grapefruits.
Now Vince looks pretty off in Mania. I feel like Vince is one of those faces that games and toy companies had a difficult time replicating properly. Mania 2000 is no exception. No Mercy isn't the best, but I can actually see Vince's face here, so we have to go with No Mercy on this one.
You rapist!
Next up is...
The product of my semen, my son Shane!
Yeah, I used to think that Shane had the same face in both games, but as you can see, this isn't exactly the case. I think No Mercy's better graphics went out in this case, as this face is what I always think of when I think of the classic AKI Shane McMahon. A perfect likeness in my opinion. Alright, now with Mankind, first we're going to compare the masks. I think it's safe to say these are pretty much identical. Now with the masks off, we can actually get a better look at their faces. In No Mercy, Mankind has some added stubble, which is a pretty cool detail, but I think I have to go with WrestleMania 2000 on this one. You can see the missing tooth right on the model, which is amazing detail, and somehow his Mania face creeps me out less. But Mania is iconic, and I think of this face whenever I think of Mick Foley himself.
You need to come on down to the cellar. I got a whole freezer full of popsicles.
Well, it's the big show!
Even though he was cut, we still have Big Show's unused beta face model as well to leer at for our sick pleasure. I decided to pull up a picture of the Big Show's face because I actually had trouble choosing on this one. But without a doubt, you can tell that No Mercy is certainly the better choice here.
Well, it's the big slow!
Here's the real test, folks. I think No Mercy has the better likeness, but I gotta say that Test is the most American looking Canadian I have ever seen. I think they went a little too overboard on No Mercy with his whatever the hell's going on with his face here, but I still think it is the better likeness. Next is Test's former partner in TNA, Albert. This one boils down to head shape once again. The bald characters in Mania 2000 have Neanderthal heads, and plus for whatever reason they made Albert a lot fatter in the face than they needed to, which is just plain mean in my opinion. Speaking of former partners, up next is Darren Drozdoff, the former partner of Albert before his untimely injury. Droz's face is also in No Mercy despite not being playable, which hints at the fact that he may have actually been intended to be in the game all along. Now ignore his hypnotizing nipples and keep your eyes up here, pal. Forget the fact that I didn't add his mustache, and we can see Mania 2000 is still the superior choice. Even though his tongue is kind of like a triangle, I feel like his face just lines up better in Mania, plus I feel like his tongue piercing stands out a lot more.
Oh my God, he's coming in.
Here's another weird dude. Al Snow was a psychopath at the time of WrestleMania 2000, and then No Mercy, well, he mostly just kind of dyed his hair. I want to go with Mania because even though they are similar, I feel like they did a better job with the character work that they were given with. When I look at Al in Mania, he legit looks deranged.
Run, Jill. He's insane.
Al Snow's partner from Head Cheese is up next. Some might even call him the original Lance Storm. They're both not bad, but I think No Mercy's updated graphics definitely give this one the advantage. Blackman was once Ken Shamrock's and hired by Vince McMahon himself, so that's a good enough transition for me. Both the same vibe here, but No Mercy's eyes are a little off-putting, just kinda like the Beta Rock face. So Mania 2000 is the better choice for me personally here.
I've forgotten more moves than you'll ever know.
Shamrock's former tag champ partner in the Corp. Mania got his SWAT vest wrong for whatever reason, because they didn't give him sleeves for some odd reason, but that's not what we're looking at this time. As far as faces go, I feel like these are neck and neck. Mania, in my opinion, is a little bit better because of the extra forehead space, and I think the eyes also just look a little bit better. But it could kind of go either way for me, so complain about it down below. Now we'll get into Vince's faculty.
I don't give two shits.
King is another face that I feel like they kept the same for both of the games here, just with minor alterations. I think they gave better detail for the old faces in Mania 2000, however, so that's going to be my pick here.
Bow to the king, stupid.
The voice of the Attitude Era and Jerry the King Lawler's commentary partner, good old JR.
I'm Jim Ross.
I used to think JR and No Mercy was great, but then when I compared this face and his Mania 2000 face, I think it's clear as day WrestleMania 2000 is vintage Jim Ross without his glasses. Sure, Mania has the better pudginess factor, but if you've seen JR, especially at this age, you know Mania is one for one his face in real life. Plus, in No Mercy, it looks like they intentionally mess with his face. I don't know if it's intentional, but it looks more like his Bell's palsy face, and I just find that to be legitimately not cool. The Stooges. Starting with Pat Patterson, he looks old as hell, which makes sense, of course. I'm gonna pick Mania again on this one. I just feel like the older face models are much better and more detailed in Mania 2000. Plus, in No Mercy, his hair is white when, according to this picture I found online, Patterson certainly had blonde hair. Double fail. Out of any characters, I have not seen two faces that look literally identical from game to game. Briscoe looks identical. I think they did his hair swoop a little bit better in Mania though. Better detail, but not too much. Other than that, it's way too tough for me to distinguish, so that's kind of at your own discretion on this one. To end this one off, we are going to finish with Paul Bear. I sort of forgot about him last video with the ministry members, so yeah. Very different head shapes. I think Mania wins because once again, they got the chin right, whereas in No Mercy, his neck and chin are they're like fused together. Plus, they got his hair better in Mania as well. A little too fat in the face for me in No Mercy.
Go ahead! Laugh at the fat man!
That's the last one though today, folks. So if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe for daily content. AKI content every Sunday, so make sure to ring the bell to be notified of it every Sunday. Comment your picks for the better likenesses or complain about my picks, that's fine too. But above all else, remember to have a nice day. Now we'll get into Vince's faculty. King is another face that they kind of kept the same for both games. I think they just gave better detail for the old face.